Hi guys, welcome to the Whisky Snug. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about marrying whisky. So this is the third part of the blending series, 3 out of 3, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about how you get from basically the cask to the bottle. Now there's an often missed part of distilling, which is the marrying stage. So you've got your cask selection done, you've done your main blending in the blending lab, you've got your flavours down, you know what style of whisky you're making, and you know what flavour profile you're trying to hit consistently. So to get there, the last part is marrying, and what you want to do is take your casks that you've selected and vat them together and then leave them be for a while after a bit of dilution before you go on to bottle. So say for example at Shelter Point, what I did with the double barrel is I had 5 casks of wine finished whisky, and I put them back into bourbon barrels for another 2-3 months just to let the flavours combine, to mellow out. You get a bit of smoothness, a bit of extra complexity, and you can use like refill sherry casks as well. That's used often as well. They tend to be inactive, so you're looking for a large vat that has not too much extra flavour in terms of extraction. What you're looking for in marrying is actually a bit more oxidation. So you'd fill up your marrying vessel, like a 3rd fill sherry cask or a big vat, and you leave a bit of room for oxygenation in there. Now in larger distilleries like Glenfiddich, Macallan, they would take maybe a stainless steel or an oak marrying vessel, and it could be quite large, you know, they could be maybe 2,000 litres in there. So they would take their casks, put it into the marrying vessel, and then leave it there for a period, tends to be between like 3 and 6 months, but it could be up to 12 months as well. The general consensus is the longer you marry, the better the final whisky will be. There's a bit of theory as well in terms of what's happening during the marrying period. So say for example, if you were to take a cask strength whisky at 60% alcohol and you were to just dilute that down to 40% in one go, you would actually knock out a lot of the flavour within that whisky. Over the 10-20 years that the whisky's been maturing, you've got a lot of that flavour that dissolved into the alcohol. And if you shock the whisky with water, especially cold water, you're going to knock a lot of those flavour molecules out, and you'll probably lose a bit of flavour and complexity in the whisky. So the idea with marrying is that you're trying to get those flavours back into the alcohol by giving it time to recover from the shock of being wetted. So say for example, what you might do, I know Springbank, I remember getting a bottle of Springbank and it was marrying strength and it was 50% alcohol. So what they would do is they would take 60% whisky or cask strength, dilute it down to 50% for marrying, and then they would leave it there for 3 to 6 months before doing the final dilution down to bottling strength. And when you're doing that final dilution, you want to take it down maybe 1 or 2% alcohol every week. So even that last bit you do slowly, just so that you're not shocking the whisky, and you're also wanting the whisky to be at ambient temperature if possible, and the water that you're using to dilute to be ambient temperature as well. And then that, you know, if you've got the same temperature of water and whisky, then they're going to come together better. Whereas if one's ambient, one's really cold, you know, who likes having a cold shower? Let's be honest, you'd much rather have a shower that's more your own body temperature. And it's the same with whisky, you know, you don't want your whisky getting all cold there. So the idea with marrying is to allow the flavours to come together, but you also have to be careful that you're not adding anything that you don't want to, especially for craft distilleries. Now, if you're using stuff like plastic totes, that's not a good idea because you could get some leaching from the plastic into the whisky. So avoid plastic at all costs. Generally what you want is stainless steel, and high quality stainless steel at that. So you want 316 stainless steel, not 304. That's too low grade, and you might even get some leaching from the stainless steel. So you need to look at the quality of the steel as well. My personal preference is to use oak, so I'll use casks from around the warehouse, like big sherry casks or big port pipes or something like that, or even just ex-bourbon casks that have already been used 2 or 3 times, so they're a bit less active than first fill casks. And once you've done the marrying, you get this beautiful marriage of flavours, everything comes together, and the whiskey lives happily ever after. So I hope that helps with the marrying. If you have any questions about marrying strength or time, or what happens at the start or the end of the process, then please leave questions below in the comments, and please like and subscribe my videos too. We're almost at 100 subscribers now, so it'll be lovely to get to 3 digits, and then yeah, we'll spread the good word of whiskey around the world. So I'm Leon Webb, thank you very much for watching, and see you on the next video.